William John Raitt back with another episode of Design and Invest. This episode will be focused on last week's stages. To start off, we did 3 stages. It wasn't a very busy week. 4th of July is coming up, so it was quite slow. Next week, actual 4th of July week is going to be even slower. So to start off the week in Pasadena, we did a stage for $5,500 to new client, also new to flipping and investing, and a new realtor too. Wednesday, we did Monterey stage in Burbank. That was a $3,000 stage. Very good client, one of our go-tos. Friday, we did a stage in Santa Monica on Lincoln. This was a $2,000 favor job that we did for a new agent that's coming into the game and for a team that we really want to get in good with. In total, the week was a $10,500 week. But wait, we have a twist. We did a stage on Monday for $5,500. That stage required us to really test our morality as stagers, and this is where a lot of companies fail to really offer the customer service needed and the sort of empathy for the clients. These are new investors, new realtors in the game. They give us zero vision up front, and we accommodate our clients fully. If they want to change out a table or change out this or that, we'll change it out. We're not going to ask questions. We want it to be right. This client at the end of the day wanted to change out everything. Well, no matter what we bring them and what we sort of change it out with, they're not going to be happy. So I've done this long enough to know that it's time to just call that one quits, and we put our best foot forward and it wasn't good enough. So no matter what we changed it with, it just wasn't going to work. So it's only happened one other time, and this was a couple years ago, and I've done over 250 stages, so this is not something normal. But I also knew that I wasn't going to dig a deeper hole and spend a lot of money to try to make them happy and still not have them happy and have them resentful. So they're perfectly nice. They weren't vindictive or mean or anything like that. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to give you a full refund. I don't think we have what you need. I took the high road, and I gave him a full refund. We ended up losing about $1,600 on that, but we saved face. We're not going to get a negative review. We managed that the best we could, and you know what? You gotta do that sometimes in business. Overall, it was still a good week. I took down 2 new design books and met with a bunch of new clients on Airbnbs and things like that. So overall, it was still a very productive week, and you got to think macro. In situations like this, you got to think of the grand picture, the grand scheme of things. What is the right thing to do for your business? And in that situation, that was the right thing to do. Is to issue the refund. As hard as it was, too many stagers out there will just jerk that person around or do some swap outs and more swap outs and more swap outs, and then just realize, oh my God, this is not going to work, and then it just gets nasty. And that's not at all what I wanted. So I just said, zip, let's move on. So on Wednesday's stage, the realtor involved with that, his name is Brett Hazard. Really good guy. He's a real scrappy hustler of an agent. We've done quite a few jobs for him in the past. I walked the property myself about two weeks ago or so, and met with Brett. Melissa was doing a stage, and so when we got to the job, real quick, small, 2-3 bedroom, I forgot what it was, house, and I took some quick notes and moved on and just started talking to him about other stuff. I said, hey, what do you have in the works? I know you invest in properties yourself, and you do flips, and you do, investments, anything cool you're working on. And, spitballing like that just creates a different kind of conversation, the kind of conversation that I really like to have about investing, about design. And so he told me about one of his clients that is doing a property in Lake Hollywood. And he's like, hey, I'm going there. You want to go over there with me? And I said, yes, let's go over there and check it out. And so we jammed over there. His client is building a 2-story, or actually he's adding a 2nd story on top of the house that's currently there. Beautiful house underneath the Hollywood sign. I mean, it's literally underneath the Hollywood sign. And then after walking the property, I realized that this is something, and that's going to take probably 6 months to a year to just do plans on. You know, they're still working on getting the soils engineering. It's hillside. They're working on a lot of different factors. I mean, to put a second story on an existing single story home is not easy. You have to reinforce the foundations, underpin it. You know, I mean, it's a real intense process. The structural involved in that, you're going to go through plan checks and corrections for quite some time. So knowing that, I presented to him, hey, this is perfectly Airbnb, you know, potential. So why don't I put together a proposal for you on this and send it to your client? Let him know during this planning process, we can get him probably $250 a night. I mean, it's right under the Hollywood sign. It has a badass pool. You know, it needs a little bit of work. I probably need to drop like $3,000 to get it rent ready and add some appliances and things like that. But that's nothing if you know, that could recoup in 2 weeks, you know, worth of rentals, and then you can have it for 6 months to a year. I mean, even if it's only 6 months, it makes a lot of sense because of the higher price point per night, beautiful views. I mean, it has everything going for it. So pitched that to him. Also said, hey, I can help you with all the design work here, which is why he brought me over there to get the floor plan and, you know, made a couple tweaks and helped him out with that. Then the big news, which isn't, you know, confirmed yet, but we started talking about some development deals and some lots for sale and things like that. And so I work with tons of developers that'll buy stuff like this. And so I told him, I was like, look, let me pitch these to some of my developer clients and see if they're willing to go for it. You know, we'll make some nice commissions out of the process or some finder's fees. So I'll report back on that one later. I think it's gonna work out nicely. Our Friday stage was for a client named Tim Gavin. It's actually Tim Gavin's team member, a new team member of his. She just became a realtor, and this is her first listing. And Tim's like, hey man, can you help us out? You know, she's in a jam. The seller isn't going to give her very much commission. I really want her to start off good. And Tim is a guy that I did some work for a while back on his first job. Tim is a professional skateboarder, you know, back in the days, really super famous. And he started up the skateboard shoe brand DVS, which was super popular when I was growing up. So when I first met Tim, I'm like, you know, this guy's awesome. Like, I know exactly who he is. And so I helped him out with a flip he did in Encino, and I did all the design work for him over there, and it turned out beautiful. And at the end of this video, we're gonna show you that flip. But back to this project, I told Tim, look man, I know you're a scrappy guy that's gonna succeed in whatever you do. And I truly mean that. I mean, you know, founder of DVS and just crushed it. You know, badass skateboarder growing up, crushed it. Like, this guy just is, he's a lot like me. Like, you know, I really feel that when I talk to him and when I, you know, hang out with him, just the conversations and things that we have. So I want to get in good with him. He's a rising star in the real estate world. He works for Keller Williams Beverly Hills, which is the primo, one of the best offices here in LA. And his team here, I think he already has 5-6 team members. And so he's growing very fast, rising through the you know, the ranks in the realtor world. And so I told him, look, I want to be your go-to, and you know, I truly mean that. I should be his go-to. I'm going to help him out in times like these when he needs it, and I'm going to help him out on the bigger jobs where I can actually make a couple bucks and still provide an amazing service for him and his team. So for this particular job, I did it at cost, $2,000, which was literally at cost. You know, I'd like to be completely transparent with my you know, with my business, and I think a lot of people out there will appreciate that. But so for that particular job, it came out great, and his realtor is going to start off on the right foot, you know, and really crush it. She was extremely happy with the product we put out, and I know that it's going to sell lightning quick. And now here's a little footage from the property that I designed for Tim Gavin in Encino, which happens to be his first listing. And remember, design, invest, and repeat.